What is going on, people? Welcome to another installment of Tony's Take. All right, I hate to do this, but I got to talk about Microsoft and the Xbox One X again, because our old pal Aaron Greenberg made a statement that made me go, no, not really, bruh. All right, so I got this off of Gaming Bolt, and their headline is Microsoft executive explains why gamers should buy Xbox One X over the PS4 Pro. Obviously, I saw that headline. I'm like, okay, what's my man saying, right? So he spoke to this site called EPN.TV, after E3, and they asked him this, like, why should people get the X over the Pro, right? This is what he had to say. Well, I'd say if you want true 4K gaming, it requires 6 teraflops of power. We have 43% more graphical power, over 60% more memory we make available to developers. All right, let's break down that first part of it, right? Okay, first of all, it's been discovered that the Xbox One X doesn't actually deliver true 4K gaming, right? The interesting thing is, and I'll bring this up right here on the screen so you guys can see it, right? Microsoft, during E3, they changed the definition of what true 4K gaming was, right? Before, 4K gaming was 2160p, right? Now, checkerboard rendering or other techniques can also be true 4K. They're fudging what true 4K means so they can still say true 4K. No, checkerboard rendering is not true 4K. I'm sorry, that's upscale, right? So that's the first part. This Xbox One X, even though I'm sure that some games will definitely be at 2160 native, right? As we've seen with Anthem and fucking Assassin's Creed Origin, right? Checkerboard rendering. And I guarantee you a lot of third-party games will also use this technique, right? So that's the first part right there. This is not a true 4K system. That's a bunch of malarkey, basically, All right, so the second part is, he goes, but the most important thing is whether you're a hockey fan, a racing fan, an RPG fan, whatever game you want to play, it will look and play better on the Xbox One X because we bring significantly more power to the table. Okay, maybe Aaron Greenberg has been like watching crap gamers videos, right? But I hate to, say this, but I'm just going to be honest. 4K doesn't make you a better gamer, right? Higher frame rates make you a better gamer, and the Xbox One X, the GPU obviously is pretty powerful, right? But the CPU is still, it's a bottleneck, basically. The GPU on this thing is no better than the one on the PS4 Pro, right? You see what's going on over there when it comes to 60 frames a second games, right? Not a lot of games are taking advantage of that, and you're probably going to get this on the Xbox One X as well. Yes, I know you guys are going to go, what about Forza 7? Again, that's a racing game. It's a first-party game. They want that shit to, be 4K, real 4K, 60 frames, right? But again, go back to Anthem, go back to Assassin's Creed, 30 frames a second. Destiny 2, 30 frames a second, right? And now, granted, Destiny 2, the reason for the 30 frames is because of parity, because it needs to match up with the original Xbox One, right? But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these games will not be running above 30 frames a second, right? And frames a second is the shit that actually makes you play better. 4K does not make you a better gamer. I don't care what Aaron Greenberg says. I don't care what Microsoft says. I don't care what these fanboys say. 4K does not make you a better gamer. That's a bunch of horse shit. And then, of course, we got to talk about the last part. Why anybody would want an Xbox One X over the PlayStation 4 Pro, right? Okay, so, you really think that people are going to go, you know what? I want more power, right? Even though I already broke down how that power difference doesn't really stack up for anything, right? What's going to be happening with the PlayStation 4 Pro this fall, right? You already know what the deal is, right? Currently, the system is $400 and Xbox One X is going to be $500, right? By the time that the fall comes around, the holidays, Sony's going to drop that price to probably $350, maybe even $300, right? But you know what? For the sake of argument, let's say Sony keeps that price at $400 for the holiday, right? Okay, so what's going to make people want the PlayStation 4 Pro over the Xbox One X, which is quote-unquote significantly more powerful, right? Games. Let's just be honest here, man. Like, right now, Microsoft they don't have, except for Forza, obviously, they don't have a showcase game for this system. Maybe Crackdown 3 will be that game, but they haven't really shown too much of that. And as a matter of fact, they're even downplaying the whole cloud computing shit. Like, that's only being relegated to the multiplayer part of it, right? So Sony, when it comes to games, they got it all, right? Look at the first half of this year, for example, right? Sony dropped a ton of games. Now, granted, they don't have a lot of exclusives coming this fall, right? But all those big exclusives they announced at E3, they're all dropping at the early part of next year. I'm talking about God of War, Days Gone, Spider-Man, maybe even Detroit, right? All that shit is dropping early part of 2018. That's what Sony said. So people could be like, okay, you know what? Scorpio may be more powerful, but if I wait a couple months, my PlayStation's going to have better games, you know? And then, of course, the other part is, you know, the marketing deals, the third-party marketing deals, obviously. You know, they have marketing deals for, Sony has marketing deals for Destiny 2, Call of Duty, and I'm missing another game, but they have a lot of third-party marketing deals with a lot of the big games that are coming out this fall, right? And people are going to gravitate towards the PlayStation system. Because, again, a lot of casual people, they don't know, like, you know, they see that PlayStation logo, they think, oh, shit, that game's only for PlayStation. That's not the case, obviously, but that's what they think, you know? So, you know, I don't think that power difference, which isn't that much, let's just be honest. Like, I know, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I believe the PlayStation 4 Pro has 4 teraflops. Xbox One X obviously has 6 teraflops. It ain't going to make that much of a difference, especially because of the fact that both of their CPUs are basically the same. So, when it comes to games, you know, the actual reason you buy a console for, PlayStation 4 Pro is going to destroy the Xbox just on that alone. You know what I'm saying? So that, yeah, again, that power difference doesn't mean shit. You know, I understand where Greenberg is coming from. Like, he needs to do this, obviously, because he's got to sell systems and stuff, but it's facetious, you know, it's false, you know, so take all this shit with a grain of salt, man. Xbox One X is a beefy console. It is what Microsoft said. It is the most powerful console ever, but at the same time, it's also compromised. It really is, you know. If you want 4K 60 frames a second gaming, you need to get yourself a PC. That's just the fact, you know. Xbox One X ain't gonna do it for you, man. So yeah, maybe you'll have these games running at a better resolution or whatever. They're not gonna play any better. And again, like I said before, most people don't even own 4K TVs, so all this shit is like a moot point. Let's just be real here, you know. But that's all I had to say for this video. Hope everybody has a nice weekend. Happy 4th of July, all that other good jazz. Once again, I was Tony. Make sure to hit like on this video, hit unlike if you don't like it, but please comment. All right, I'll see you next time. Peace.